I'm gonna give this a try. I mean, I've got to find out if it's real or not. So I can remember times even earlier, just to skip shortly here, I can remember times sitting on top of a hill with a joint in my hand going, oh God, you know, I would love to see you, I would love to meet you, and all that. And obviously he was hearing my prayers, but obviously not due to the weed. So then after reading that book, I thought, you know, I'm gonna try this thing. You know, I can always go back to my life, you know. So I thought, I'd taste and see if the Lord is good and what this stuff is all about. So I did. I said tomorrow morning, this was on a Sunday night right after Thanksgiving weekend, Sunday night, I woke up and the night before I had said, tomorrow I'm going to ask the Lord, I'm going to throw myself upon the Lord and pray for Jesus to come into my life. I'm going to repent, I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to see what this Jesus stuff is all about. See if this is really where life is all about. So the next morning I woke up and I did just that. I prayed with a sincere heart, and that wasn't just a sincere heart, it was just, I was crying out to God, save me from this wicked planet, save me from my own sins, save me from what I had become, save me from what I was, you know. So I remember going to work. I worked in a factory at the time, and I went in there and started telling everybody I was a Christian, and that you know, my life has changed. Well, at the time, I had a pretty dramatic transformation. I guess it happens to some people and it doesn't to others. I don't know, but it did happen to me. I was a cigarette smoker. I was a weed smoker. I was a heavy drinker. Every other word out of my mouth was profanity. I think if you cut all the profanity out of my mouth, I probably had nothing to say. So, whatever that means. And my mind was just full of all kinds of self. Everything was self. So, the next day I'm like at work and I'm telling everybody, hey, I'm a Christian now. And they're just like, yeah, right, sure. And, you know, Lord works like this in some people's lives and in others he doesn't. But he took all that away from me immediately. He took the drugs away from me. He took the alcohol away from me. I stopped speaking filthy mouth, filthy language. And I was like changing. And I can remember just because I lived at the time, I lived in the northern Michigan, and I lost my train of thought. I would just take a drive out in the country, and man, I would just cry. I mean, I would have like a 30-minute cry just from the joy of the Lord coming into my life. It was just absolutely incredible. So I got a whole. So, anyways, I started picking up the Bible, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was all starting to make sense now. And the Bible just opened up to me, I think, which is probably a very amazing thing, because all the times I picked it up before, I had never gotten a thing out of it. So I was like, well, this is very cool. And, you know, for a while, people at work, you know, they were all harassing me because they knew where I had come from. And, what I was about. So it was pretty incredible. So then I didn't join a church for a while. I just spent time with the Lord, and I had people that I would run into and meeting all kinds of Christians along the way. Some were saying, oh, you should never be sick, and you should be speaking in tongues, and you should be doing this and that. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to stay in the Word. And, try to get a feel for this. I'm not jumping into anything that isn't in this book. So I did just that. I did finally end up joining a church, and it's all those years later, and I've been through all kinds of periods. I've been through deserts. I've been through times where I've doubted my faith. I have a real good assurance right now of my faith and how God is living in my life and how He knows me. And it's all good. It's joy. It's the joy of the Lord. It's peace. You can't find this peace because part of my story of all these years is I did go back to some of the things that made me ugly. I did go back, and I wanted to, I don't know, sin is so deceiving. You just open yourself just a little bit to sin, and it just comes in, and it soothes you, and it just comforts you. Obviously it's all fake, but it comes in so slowly. It's the devil. He is very sly, very evil, and he'll make things look shiny, and then you get the Lord and you think, oh man, how did I even get back into that? How did I get tricked like that? But God has used it for His glory. He has brought me around and used it as a growing experience. It's hard. That's one bit of advice I'd like to give out during giving this testimony is